What's up, guys? We get a lot of questions about the rifles that we use on the range, so I've got two different configurations. We're going to go over some of the parts we have on each of these and the pros and cons of each configuration. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our CQB setup. This one's set up with just a red dot and a magnifier and an IR illuminator for running nods. So this is an SBR, so it's a 10.5-inch barrel. We've got it suppressed, which I don't always run suppressed, but it is nice to be able to have that feature. This is a Unity Tactical flip up mount here, which is nice not having that magnifier flip out of the way for throwing the rifle around the back or you know, some sling manipulations. Having this drop down into the upper receiver is very nice. So the cons of this mount is depending on your optic window here, it can cut off a little bit of the bottom. So I'm running a Holosun 530C, so it takes up about 1/3 of the viewport of my optic. Doesn't seem to get in my way. You know, I can get quick acquisition with this optic just fine with no magnifier on it. Magnifier is nice for pushing out, you know, 100 yards, 125 yards. It does help. That's this configuration here. We're able to use it with nods. This is basically a Mark 18. So this is the Daniel Defense R3S, which is essentially a Mark 18 with no Picatinny rails on it. I'm not a huge fan of the quad rail. It just seems really big in my hand. I do like this one, set up for M-LOK, so you can put all your accessories on there fairly easily. This one does have ambi controls. Never been a huge fan of ambi controls, so I just don't use them. But you know, a lot of you lefties out there, you know, or guys that do a lot of weak hand training, it does help. You know, for me, I'm not a huge fan of it, but as this thing sits, it's great for CQB. Anything past, you know, 180 yards, it does tend to be difficult to reach out that way accurately with just a red dot and the magnifiers. Really what a magnifier is doing to your red dot is just magnifying any imperfections or any flaws in the dot there. It does work. I run this configuration most of the time. We shoot on a CQB range, so, you know, clearing rooms or you know, some stress training, this thing's just about perfect for. Now, when we go out to some matches, we do push out 350, 400 yards, things like that. This does not excel in those areas. A lot of the matches allow you to bring two rifles, so I bring both of these out with me. This one here is the V7, Daniel Defense V7, so it's a little bit longer. This is a 14.5 pinned and welded with a dead air key mount so that I can suppress it. Again, you don't have to suppress it all the time, but if you're training on a private range where you've got neighbors and things like that, it does help. You know, can, from what people say, get your lead levels up. You know, stay healthy out there, pay attention to what you're doing. Adjustable gas blocks do help. You can turn that gas down so you don't get a lot of back gassing in your face. I've got this one with a Vortex HD. This is the Gen 2 1:6. This is the second focal plane. First focal plane is a little bit nicer. You don't have to adjust your holds at different magnifications, so that focal plane, that reticle is gonna change with your magnification. So if you're looking at that, check out first focal plane optics. They tend to be a little bit nicer. Second one works for me. I've got a backup RMR on here. I can see through this just fine. You know, it's pretty quick acquisition. I do like a backup RMR, so I don't have to bring my face down as low. I've got this at like a 157 height, which I may be switching it out to a 170 so that I can align to my thermal a little bit better. So this is a iRay RH25. I like having this thermal for you know, being able to pick up any kind of heat signature out in the woods. You know, if you're training with a group, at least somebody on your team should have thermal capability. It is very expensive, so, you know, get your priorities right. Make sure you have a primary rifle first, obviously, but having this backup RMR to be able to see over the top of the thermal is very helpful. This one here is a clip-on, goes on my Wilcox mount, so that's convenient. I can do some scanning, you know, with the helmet mounted and everything like that, and then just pull it off there and throw it on my rifle and be able to see through my optic what I was seeing through my helmet. So very convenient. Both of these rifles have Surefire Scout Pros, so we sell these on our website. It's a great light. You know, we love them. They work awesome. Really good throw on that beam, so you can push out at distances and still light up your target downrange. So I've got an IR illuminator on this one. Is the titanium bodied hollow sun, so it's pretty decent. You know, it's not a PEC, but it does work, so you save a little bit of money and get into the game that way. There's a lot of good options out there. They tend to be fairly expensive, but you know, you've got different ranges there. So this one works for me. The mount I've got on this is a ADM, same with my thermal mount here. They make a great product. So and they have a couple different height configurations there, so you can get this tuned up to your eye. So that's pretty much it, guys. You know, this configuration is good for pushing out, you know, beyond 200 yards. So it's not as good on CQB in my personal opinion. It does work. I can run this. This is probably giving you a wider range of use. So if you were going to have one rifle, I would say this would probably be the configuration that you should set up. LPVO, backup RMR, make sure you have a light, and beyond that you're pretty much good. So although the CQB configuration, for me personally, I can get on target and make accurate shots inside of, you know, 125 yards very, very quickly with this. So it tends to be my go-to. You know, if it pushes out further than that for distance, I will transition to this rifle here. The slings I have on these rifles, this is a Ferro Slingster, so great sling. I do like it. This is a Blue Force Gear padded sling, so I like this one too. I do like the padded slings. You know, when you're doing a lot of sling manipulation and transition to pistol, throwing this thing across your neck can tend to tear into you a little bit, so the padded sling is nice. That pretty much sums it up for these rifles, guys. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. Let us know what you're interested in, and we can help you out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that helps you with your next build. So if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out DaraHolsters.com.